So here's another interview, 2 days after this time, because she's doing the rounds with everybody else first, and now she's doing one for an Indian news station. And why Indian? Well, it's because the woman in the yellow jacket is from India, and she was an air stewardess, and as this woman's going to say, this is the iconic photograph, and it's not that it's a horrible photograph, you know, the fact that it's supposedly somebody who's just been blown up. It's iconic. It's an odd word to use instead of it being horrific or something that actually would describe an actual explosion. So same as before, I'll play it through and pause it as and when.
Well, the photograph that has become the defining image of the terror attacks was taken by journalist Ketivan Kardawa. It shows Jet Airways in-flight manager Nidhi Chapekar bleeding in a complete state of shock. My colleague Rahul Venkat spoke to the photographer who took that iconic photograph.
So quickly before we hear the word iconic again, she's now back at home doing this particular interview, and if you compare it to the last one she did outside, where it seemed to be a bit more set up and staged and a bit more prepared, now she's back at home. When she has to speak in sort of one long sentence, she's just totally lost with what she's supposed to have said, and she's almost having to remember what she said previously in order just to fulfill this particular interview. So anyway, here you go.
Now, see, there was one iconic photograph that you took minutes after the blast, which ended up being the photograph of the Jet Airways employee Nidhi. What can you describe? Under what circumstances you took those photographs?
After I realized that everything, after I realized that I was alive and there was no third explosion.
How would she know that? Why would she say that? It's a very odd thing to come out with, because anything could have happened after that point. But anyway.
We looked from this box, and first what I saw was the woman. I did not know, of course, who she was, and I took the picture. And she was speechless. And you see in what situation she was, and I was there doing less than a minute, and then they forced us to leave the place. The police came and the armed soldiers.
An interesting reveal is that after the explosions, it was less than a minute, then armed soldiers appeared and told her to get out. But we know that she went around taking photographs of people still in the airport, but because this story is about the woman in the yellow jacket, they're only interested in her. But the fact is that contradicts her story about going taking pictures of other people that we've heard previous days from this. Not to mention the quick reaction times of armed soldiers.
This photograph has now gone on to help the family identify their member.
I was very happy yesterday evening when I read the article written by USA Today journalist that I helped someone, and it was in Mumbai.
No, I'm sorry, she didn't help anybody. That's the point. She went round taking pictures. She asked this woman if she was alright and she didn't answer, and then she went off to take pictures of other people instead. Taking a picture, putting it in the newspaper, and that somebody spots that person doesn't mean that you helped her. That's just crazy talk.
And they recognized family member and sister by my photo. It was very important for me.
So it's not a consistent interview, but the fact is that this particular news station, they're only interested in the woman in the yellow jacket, which is who we're going to focus on next. So anyway, I'm done talking about this particular journalist, so I would love to hear your comments about her, or if there's any other pieces of footage you've spotted that contradicts anything she's said so far. So yeah, thanks very much for watching.